What's up, guys? I think it's time to finally talk about Ultra Necrozma. It's been a week since it came out, and yeah, I'm sorry I've been absent for a long time, but I've been busy with work and college and other stuff. And yeah, well, we're not here to talk about my life. Well, first, I want to say that Ultra Necrozma is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's broken. I would say it's pretty good, and it's definitely not as bad as Mega Rayquaza. Not even near, in my opinion. The way it works is that Ultra Necrozma gets. I mean, it has to transform from Duskmane Necrozma and Dawnwings Necrozma, which are updated versions of Solgaleo and Lunala, or different versions rather. And yeah, he has to use Ultra Necrozma Z, which is a Mega Stone and a Z move, all in one. So that right off the bat tells us that you can use C move or Mega Stone with if you want to use Necrozma. So that's a bad thing in my opinion, but I guess it's good that it has that, because then you can run stuff like Mega Luke or Salamence with it, which are good things to pair with it. That would be good things to pair with it, to be honest. So I guess that's good. I guess what Mega Necrozma, Ultra Necrozma has going for it is that it's very unpredictable. It can run Calm Mind and Swords Dance sets, and the thing about it is that it has not a good defensive counter, or check rather. I guess the closest thing to it are probably Arceus Dark, physically defensive Arceus Dark, and physically defensive Mega Sableye. I think those two are the two greatest defensive checks. But then again, if you run into a Duskmane Necrozma, which could be offensive or defensive, if Duskmane carries Swords Dance and the Z move, the Solgaleo Z, it can get rid of those two very easily. So yeah, I'd say the scariest thing about Ultra Necrozma, or Necrozma in general, is that it's very unpredictable right now. We would have to wait until the metagame settles a little bit, but I would say it will take a bit of time for people to get used to it. Right now, people are running like a lot of Scarfers and Marshadow, which is very annoying. I think people over prepare for it a lot, and that kind of pisses me off, because that means people aren't really running real teams. They just, you remember how well, some of you, if you played it, like in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, when Mega Rayquaza came out, people were running like 5 Mega Rayquaza checks and not running anything else. That's kind of how things are looking at right now. Like, people are running like a Scarfy Beltal, or I've seen Scarf Marshadow a lot and Scarf Mewtwo. So that, I don't know, man. That just that's just pretty awful in my opinion. People don't really know like what to run, but I guess that's normal because it's a new metagame. But my prediction is that once people realize that Ultra Necrozma is not that big of a deal, like a decent Scarfer should take care of it, or even like stuff like Pheromosa can take care of it. People are going to stop running it that often, and are going to start using Double Dance Duskmane Necrozma, which is really good. I've been running some cogs with my buddy Orc, and we've come to the realization that Double Dance Necrozma with Solgaleo Z is really good. It outcosts Zygarde from full, not big boss side guard, like 50% side guard, max HP, max defense. It doesn't even turn into side guard complete, and it doesn't even need adamant to do that. It can just run Jolly, which I really like. It also outgoes stuff like Arceus Dark and Lugia with what's his name? Sunrays Storm something? I don't know really. Sunrays Serum Sunrays Smash, I think it's called. Yeah. It outgoes stuff like Lugia, which is really good at +2 anyway. Yeah. Once they start running it, people are gonna forget about Ultra, and then people, I don't know, man. Like, people are gonna stop overusing Scarfers, and when they do that, Ultra Necrozma is gonna rise again. I don't know. Anyway, I'd say Dustmane is the best of the 3 new forms. I say Ultra Necrozma is pretty good, but the thing about it is that it doesn't really offer that much defensively, which is something that a lot of Uber Pokemon are good at. Like, sure, like Ultra Necrozma, since it's recommendable to start with Duskmane instead of Dawnwings, it can avoid Toxic and can even switch into Xerneas sometimes, but it doesn't do it as reliably as something like Primal Groudon, in my opinion anyway. So yeah, Duskmane is really good. It also has a special defensive set, which is really great in my opinion. It doesn't get to be KO'd by Yveltal's Dark Pulse, which is really good. And I also, while playing yesterday, I also realized it doesn't get 3-hit KO'd by Palkia's Fire Blast, which is amazing because it has, I think it reaches 354 special defense, and it also has Freeze Armor, which is basically solid rock but better. And yeah, it's really bulky. I don't like Dawnwings at all. I think it's really bad. It has Lunala's typing, and without Shadow Shield, it doesn't really cover that much. It has really bad defensive typing, and it doesn't really bring anything to the table for Necrozma. The only thing you can get from it is if you use Calm Mind Necrozma and you want Moongeist Beam, but I'd say Moongeist Beam is not a good coverage move, in my opinion. I think you're better off with Power Gem or Heat Wave, or both. So yeah, I don't see any reason why you would use Dawnwings Necrozma. If you want to run that type of Pokemon, you can just run Lunala, which even gets Focus Blast, which is something that Necrozma doesn't get. And yeah, I'd say you're better off running Duskmane if you want to go offensive and defensive, respectively. The last thing I want to cover is Marshadow, because I think it's something I really want to talk about. I know it has been out for a few months, but I just never really got into playing with it until like 2 months ago, which, yeah. Marshadow, I think it's the most toxic thing in that metagame right now, even more toxic than Xerneas or Shadow Tag, in my opinion. I'd say Marshadow makes the metagame a lot worse, because for once it forces you to run a Scarfer or a support Arceus, and one support Arceus are most of the good support Arceus, or rather the ones that can counter Marshadow, which are Fairy and Poison, I think. I I will say those two are trapped by stuff like Gothitelle and Gengar, which are starting to be more common. Shadow Attack is becoming more and more common because people are realizing it's good. So that's one thing I don't like about it. And also I don't like having to run a fast Pokemon just because of a big threat. It's just, I think it restricts team building a little bit. And it also, like the matchup for a team with Marshadow and facing another team with Marshadow, it's just, it's very disgusting in my opinion. I've lost so many battles to losing a speed tie with Marshadow, like a Shadow Sneak speed tie between Marshadows. Like, I hate that. I really hate that. It's just, I think it's really stupid. It's a really stupid Pokemon. What can also be said about Marshadow? It's a really good Pokemon, obviously, and it's also really hard not to run Marshadow, even on balance. Like I'm not like anyone who knows me from like back in Black and White, you know that I really like a good balance team. Like balance is my favorite playstyle. But sometimes I want to run offense, and I'm just very reluctant because I would have to face like a huge Marshadow threat. Like, I don't know. I hate this Pokemon. I think the meta would be really like a lot better without it. But yeah, I think it's not broken. It's just a stupid Pokemon. It makes everything worse. And yeah, I think that's everything I want to talk about. Oh, also Lucario gets Meteor Mash now, so it's a lot better. I've been wanting to run Lucario, but I just I don't know, man. With Marshadow, with Necrozma, with a lot of things that are faster than it right now, I don't know. It's harder. Anyways, I think that's everything I wanted to cover. Hopefully I will get more content during these few months because I'm on vacation. I feel I finished my first college semester. So yeah, you can probably expect more videos and stuff. So alright, see you later guys, bye.